I'm sure y'all heard about the Budokai Tenkaichi 4 announcement yesterday. Technically, Budokai Tenkaichi 5, since Ultimate Tenkaichi would count as 4, but everybody is referring to the new game as 4. So, for algorithm reasons, the Budokai Tenkaichi 4 announcement. Anyway, I'm sure y'all heard of it, and I'm going to have to be the one guy in the fandom to stand on the pillar and say y'all shouldn't be hyped for this. And you're probably thinking, well, why shouldn't we be hyped? This is the return of Budokai Tenkaichi. You know, this is one of the best game series to come out of the Dragon Ball franchise. Well, let me tell you. So, I got involved in the Dragon Ball community around 2017 when my good friend at Unreal Gaming, Alex, made his Discord server. You know, obviously I'd consumed Dragon Ball before that point, but I didn't get involved in the community until 2017. Now, since getting involved in the community, since the start of Super, I have seen quite a bit of bad will building in regards to the Dragon Ball franchise, Toei, Shueisha, Bandai, so on and so forth. You know, people who loved the anime when it was airing will now say, you know what, now that I look back on it after the fact, the anime really wasn't that good. There was so many problems with it. You know, people are constantly going at the manga now. You know, we got a 3-month break after the slog that was the granola arc, only to see Trunks and Goten going to school. And I'm not against that concept, by the way. You know, I loved the beginning portion of the Buu saga with Gohan going to school. But this was just handled in a much worse way. And, you know, people have not been enjoying the manga. The games, you know, Xenoverse and Xenoverse 2 were good for their time, but they have become extremely dated. They've been milking the hell out of these games. You know, we got the disappointment that was the Breakers. We got Fighters, which if anybody involved in the FGC will tell you is not a good game. Like, it's very streamable, it's very easy to consume, but it's not a good game. And just since 2017, just this animosity in regards to the franchise has been building and building and building. And then yesterday, we get a 30-second trailer which is made up of partly by 15 seconds of old footage and what looks to be a cinematic cutscene. We know next to nothing about this game. We don't even know if that new portion shown off in the trailer yesterday is actually going to be what the gameplay looks like. That could have been a cinematic cutscene that's going to appear in the game. Or not appear in the game, but be what the cinematic cutscenes look like. And they just use that to say, hey, look what we're doing. We know next to nothing about this, but people on Twitter, people on Discord, they're going insane over this. You know, I was in VC with a bunch of people yesterday when this game was announced, and I was the only one there who had a healthy amount of skepticism in regards to this game. Even my friend Fallen Awari Duck was saying, you know, Dragon Ball fans are eating. I'm like, no, just no. No, they're not. You know, listen, I understand being excited for something, and I'm not saying people can't be excited for a new thing, because it's a new thing. You know, everybody wants the new shiny thing. But with everything that's happened in regards to this franchise over the past, you know, let's say middle portion of the TOP to now, it's just been downhill. We've been white-knuckling it down a roller coaster for, you know, 2017, 6 years now. Like, the only slightly up point we've gotten has been Broly. Broly was pretty good. But everything else has just been down, 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 down. So, I'm not saying you can't be excited we're getting something new. People were excited for Superhero. Like, if they announce we're getting a new movie, it's like, oh, cool, we're getting a new movie. But you need to have that healthy amount of skepticism there. I think Dragon Ball is beyond the point where you should be blindly supporting the things it's releasing. You know, somebody yesterday, Herbie, another one of my friends, said that, the reason why he's excited is because this is a return to form for Dragon Ball. This is the Budokai Tenkaichi series, one of the best games to come out of the franchise. And that's why he's excited, because the name is synonymous with quality. And, there's no way they can mess it up, especially if they bring back the team that worked on the previous game entries. But if you told somebody, right, 15, 20 years ago during the Dragon Ball dry period, that period of time where there was just no new content except some games, which a lot of people don't really talk about that much. If you told somebody during that dry period that we would be getting an anime series, 2 movies, a manga, and a bunch of games, they would have said, "No, we're not. You're crazy. You're lying to me." And they would have locked you up in a mental institution if you told them that 95% of that stuff was going to be dog water. They would say there's no way that they would bring back Dragon Ball and then have it be bad. There's no way they do that. But look where we're at. Look at what Toei and Shueisha and Bandai have been cranking out and giving to us over the years. We get a lackluster anime that, in retrospect, is not good at all, that has many, many issues, that was put under crunch multiple times, and the animation errors are very, very blatant. The manga treats us readers like we're stupid. They make blatant errors constantly. In terms of anatomy, among other things, as well as the storytelling in general just being lackluster. The games are subpar, to say the least. As much flack as Budokai or Ultimate Tenkaichi gets, at least you could change your fighting style and aura color. Where is that in Xenoverse? The game that is objectively more advanced than Ultimate Tenkaichi. Where are the features that made Ultimate Tenkaichi worth playing? Being the fact that you could change your aura color, the fact that you could change your fighting style. Where are those features in these modern Dragon Ball games? Don't get me even started on the breakers and the mess that game is. Don't get me started on it. Just overall, guys, again, if you want to be excited for this game, go ahead. That's perfectly fine. But if you're gonna be excited, don't be blindly excited. Don't be blindly accepting of this product just because you have some good memories of back in the day at home with your friends and y'all had a little argument and you're like, you know what, pick up the sticks, let's play Budokai Tenkaichi 3, let's settle this shit. Don't be blinded by those good memories into thinking that this is going to be good. Because there's so many things in regards to this game that they can mess up. For one thing, I can already see them not having a slew of characters. A big reason why people like BT3 so much is because of the roster. It had, I think 98 playable characters. Granted, some of them were repeats, like the whole thing with Goku early, Goku mid, and Goku end. But that's neither here nor there. Even without repeats, it still had a ton of characters that we haven't really seen in any game since then, or any interactive game like BT3. Obviously we've seen people like Fascia and Dokkan, and that's a mobile game, so who gives a shit, right? But I don't think we're going to see that many characters. I think I could honestly see it being very similar to Xenoverse 2's roster. I don't think we're going to see many OG Dragon Ball characters. Same thing for GT. I don't think we're going to see very many GT characters. I mean, obviously, we'll probably see the main ones, of course. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, so on and so forth. But I don't think it's going to be a super deep and expansive roster. Something else that Kruos, another friend of mine, said last night, and the reason he likes BT3, or one of the reasons anyway, is that each character feels special. They feel like they each have their own fighting style, and that's something I could see them easily messing up. You know, they could easily just port over the Xenoverse fighting system to this game and just call it a day. You know, let's see what else. They could include the same boring story mode we've seen 100 million times at this point. You know, I think that's a big issue for modern Dragon Ball games. Is that they keep including the same old story mode, and not to say that a game having a story mode is bad per se, but you know, as many flaws as Kakarot, I completely forgot Kakarot existed a few minutes ago when I was talking about all the games released. Oh my god, it's kind of crazy with what I'm about to say. I think if you're gonna play through Dragon Ball Z's story, I think Kakarot is the definitive way to do it because it gives a lot of context, it gives a lot of new information, and I think it's the way to play through the story. But the thing with Kakarot is, it doesn't give you an incentive to keep playing it once you've beaten it. I got Kakarot on release day. I played through it. I enjoyed the experience I had. And then I put it down. And I have not touched that game since. Because why do I need to play through the story that I already know again? And I feel like with BT4, it's going to include a lackluster story mode. You know, I would honestly prefer if the story mode was just a bunch of what ifs, right? You know, in Raging Blast 1, they included a bunch of what if, like, story mode scenarios. If they made the story mode for BT3 just that, or BT4, excuse me, or just a whole new story in general, I think that'd be great. But I don't think it would be a good thing to just include the same old story mode again. Let's see what else. I know I brought up a few seconds ago, but I think the combat system is going to be very easy to mess up. They could make it not as hard hitting as it once was. The characters and how they fight could not feel unique. The graphics could also be an issue. The launch day optimization could be an issue. There's just so many things in regards to this game that could fall flat. And with how Dragon Ball's been performing recently, I think anybody who's excited needs to take those things into account. And have a healthy amount of skepticism in regards to this game so they don't end up getting their hearts broken by it. You know, everybody in VC last night, when I could finally, you know, get a word in edgewise and not have everybody erupt into a, you know, cacophonous screaming match with me, when I could actually get out like, hey, what if this game ends up being bad? Everybody said, oh, it'll be over. Like, that Dragon Ball will be done for me at that point, or done for them at that point. And I don't want to see that happen, because even though Dragon Ball has lost it with me, I don't enjoy Dragon Ball like I once did. I think it'll be very sad to see the same thing happen to other people. Because I remember when it happened for me, it wasn't fun. For the longest time, I was sort of this wishy-washy person that just wanted to be entertained, right? You know, as long as something was entertaining, I was fine with it. Everything was fine for me, you know. But then I had some talks with Emish, and that's when I put out that One Piece over Super video, or whatever it's called. And since then, I've been trying to be more critical of the things I consume. And although I think being critical of what you consume is a good trait to have, I don't want people to go about getting that trait the same way I did, if that makes sense. But anyway, I'm probably getting a little rambly at this point. I apologize for that. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like or a dislike. Tell me your thoughts on this game and how you're excited for it, because I'm willing to bet most people who watch this will probably leave a comment saying they're excited for the game, which again is fine. Tell me I'm stupid for everything I said in this video down in the comments. That's fine too. Tell me if I'm doing something right. Tell me if I'm doing something wrong. But with that being said, thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a great day.